Despite the fact that there is no kissing of the face, smelling of the cheese, or even buttering of the arse, Alpha Papa is without a doubt, thankfully, textbook Alan Partridge. And it really pleases me to say that because, as a long term fan of Norwich's favourite radio DJ, I was a little apprehensive about how his first feature film was going to pan out. Because, let's be honest, he isn't exactly a character that screams movie star, movie icon. It kind of is a little bit awkward to even imagine how it would work as a film. But for the most part, it kind of does. As a film, I still have issues with it as a medium. He definitely still works better as a TV character. But having said that, despite my problems with this film, of which there are a couple, and it's mainly around the siege aspect, the film is actually really, really funny. Laugh out loud funny. Genuinely laugh out loud funny. Like, not just lols for the lols, but lols for real. The plot and premise of Alan Partridge Alpha Papa is pretty simple and straightforward. Alan, along with his sidekick Simon, played by Tim Key, is presenting the midday morning show at North Norfolk Digital, which, if you've seen the sort of shorts that were put on the internet, I think originally backed and funded and provided by Foster's, which is an Australian lager of all things. You'll know this already. So he's still doing that show at North Norfolk Digital, except the radio station has been taken over by like a media conglomerate who are rebranding the station and making it hip and cool for the youth, and they're kind of jazzing it up. And because of this, some of the older DJs like Alan and Pat Farrell, who does the night shift show, I think, they are kind of worried about their job, and rightfully so, because pretty soon Pat, who is an Irish DJ, I don't know why that makes any difference, but he is sacked. And in response to this, he kind of goes on a rampage. He comes into the launch party of Shape with a shotgun and takes the whole staff and crew hostage, and it is up to Alan Partridge to act as the mediator between him and the police. A dream situation for him, considering he is like all into Andy McNabb books and sort of hand-to-hand combat, as it says on his Facebook profile, which is a little weird joke that's in the film. But that's basically the premise of it. Alan Partridge is the mediator between Mad Pat with his shotgun in the radio station and the police. And as a base idea, it actually works really well, in particularly the first 30 to 40 minutes when you're getting the whole sort of world building, albeit a small world set in Norfolk, in a small local radio station. The world building's great, and, you know, the central idea of the siege is fantastic. And it actually kind of works well as a sort of transfer medium between TV and film, and you think, okay, this is going to be good, because they're not going to be making like a Tony Scott or a Michael Bay style action thriller. It's going to be literally like a siege in a local radio station, and they play on that, and it works really well for the most part initially. But towards the middle, it kind of loses steam a little bit, and it kind of feels like they weren't entirely sure of what to do with this now that they've got the wheels in motion. And in terms of the actual plot and the sort of central idea of the siege, it kind of flip-flops a little bit, and it gets a little muddled and a little bit lost. And in that sense, it kind of doesn't work fantastically as a film. However, it's saving grace, and it's the one thing that I think everybody will be going for, regardless of how good or how thin the plot is that it's extremely funny. It is just, like I said before, laugh out loud funny. There is a number of really stinging one-liners, a bunch of quotes. Fans of the TV series will love it because there's a bunch of reoccurring characters, some of which actually have some of the best lines in the film. But there are jokes and gags coming out all the time, and it is perfectly befitting the character of Alan Partridge, and it kind of really fits in with the mould that has been set before. This definitely helps ease the transition, and it definitely makes it worth watching. It doesn't fix some of the problems that it has in terms of the transfer to the big screen and the fact that it doesn't really quite know what to do in terms of structure and like plot, and to kind of really incorporate the character into the medium as such. But the amount of laughs and the amount of enjoyment that is gained from the film kind of outweighs its very obvious problems, and I really enjoyed it, and it's a film that I think will have many, many replays in my home over time, simply because it is just continuously funny from start to finish. And because of that, and because of the strength of the humour and how frequent I laughed, I'm giving it a 7.5.